My name is Bertie Gregory. I'm a wildlife filmmaker, and I've been fortunate enough to work with them for the last 10 years. And very soon, September 13th, I've got a new show coming out on Disney Plus called Animals Up Close.
Excellent. Definitely looking forward to that. So tell me a little bit about why you're here this evening.
So I'm here as part of the National Geographic family to support an incredible story about courage, really.
And based on what you know about the film, what are you most looking forward to experiencing tonight?
So this will be the first time I've seen the film, so I'm very excited to learn more. But yeah, as I said, it really is a story about courage and bravery and going against the grain for what you believe is right. And that's something I think we all need to champion. So looking forward to learning more.
And lastly, what do you think it is about National Geographic Documentary Films that is important right now?
I think truth is very important in 2023, and I think that yellow border is so iconic for that.
Yeah.
And we should be doing everything we can to fight for truth and telling powerful stories, and National Geographic is the place to see that.
I'm John Batzek. I'm a producer of the film.
Okay, excellent. How did you come to be involved with this?
Chris Sharp, who's the co-director, approached me when they were somewhere like a third of the way down the road with the process, showed me some footage and asked me if I'd be interested in producing it with him, and I said yes.
Why is this an important story to tell right now?
Because it's a film about, an incredibly brave individual who wanted to stand up against an authoritarian regime and risked everything to do so, and in so doing became a hero in Uganda and has given himself and Uganda a real chance of trying to escape the restrictions of having a dictator.
What do you hope that audiences take out of this film, or what do you hope the effect of this movie is when it's released?
I hope that it makes people pay attention to stories like this and pay attention to what's going on in Uganda and understand that the international governments like the British and the Americans support dictators like Museveni against the will of the people and against the will of someone like Bobi Wine who has the country's best interests at heart.
So I'm Christopher Sharp. I was a director and producer on the film.
Moses Boyo, director and cinematographer on the film.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is your first film?
Yes, both of us are first directing film. Yes,
so
it is, yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about your career that led to this point?
Yeah, so I originally was editor back in my youth a while ago, and I grew up in Uganda. I met Bobi and Barbie in the beginning of 2017, and I was just overwhelmed by them and thought their story needed to be told. And so decided to make a film, met Moses in Uganda, and then we spent 5-6 years following Bobi, editing, putting the story together, and that's where we are.
And for you, sir, now you haven't worked on a feature film before, but to your understanding, what is the difference between being a cinematographer on a documentary such as this and sort of a studio narrative film?
So actually I've been quite fortunate, and I was able to work closely with Miranaya and Queen of Katwe.
Okay.
And yes, I met Christopher in Uganda, and we started working on this project. But documentary is this is a very unique documentary because it was happening in front of us while filming.
Okay.
And the difference between that and narrative is very, very controlled. There's you have a cue for cut, action, and all that, and everything is planned, which is very different in our case. And this film was also just a fast-paced action kind of film. Lots of crowds, lots of political events going on. So it's really short verite style. Very little we didn't really light scenes or anything. So small team and handheld camera in some cases.
Okay.
And actually most cases, swapping lenses right there. With a monopode, and so it was a very I would say kind of like run and gun kind of shoot,
Right.
Yeah.
Lastly then, for the both of you, why is this the right time to tell this story?
Yeah, super important. There's dictatorships all over the world. I think what makes this story unique is really Bobi and Barbie, and they are incredible communicators, and they are able to show the plight in Uganda in a very articulate
and wonderful way. And the fact that Bobi is a musician and his music resonates with so many people makes it very special. But it's not a unique story. It's a story that we're really up against, and it's increasingly important.
In addition to that, this is not just a love story about Bobi and Babi and the story of Uganda. No, it's the story of Ukraine. It's the story of Russia. It's the story of Myanmar. It's the story of Sudan. You know, it's the story of lots of countries that now in West Africa are under dictatorial regimes. You know, the story of Central African Republic. It's a larger story. And we're at a time in this world today where it's very easy for the world to turn towards totalitarian regimes. And we hope that our film can show world audiences how fragile democracy is.
How does it feel to have your story told at this point in this form?
It feels like a victory itself for our story to be told by us. For a long time, so much taxpayers' money from Uganda has been spent to paint a rosy picture about the realities in Uganda. We didn't have any other way to tell our story, so this film comes as a magical tool for us to express ourselves, to show the Ugandan story raw and unfiltered. But also, we want to achieve a communication to the world that the people of Uganda, regardless of the insurmountable odds that they are facing, they refuse to give up, and they still look up to a better day that will come one day, one time.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.